Okay, this is the sensor block test. Here we have the sensor PCB with the 6 photodiodes surrounding the LEDs. These 3 wires are the controls. One controls the photodiodes, and the other 2 control the IR LED and the red LED. These are the 6 sensor outputs, and they will be scoped one at a time, and there are 330 kiloohm resistors at each output acting as a load to satisfy the current requirement for this particular block. Up here we have 3.3 volts at the power supply, which is what this is spec'd for. And yeah, so right now I'm going to hook up the red LED first, and we will test that to the frequency generator. As you can see, it's on. I'm going to place my wrist on the sensors and then adjust the frequency as necessary until a pulse is seen on the screen, at least one of the sensor outputs. So my wrist is going on the sensor. So this is the output of the first photodiode. As you can see, we have a fairly visible pulse signal. That's my heart rate. It's a little fast. So now I will proceed to look at the other outputs to see if they are outputting something as well. This is sensor 2. You can still see the signal on it, though its amplitude isn't as great. This is sensor 3. This is sensor 4, sensor 5, and sensor 6, where the amplitude is much less. So that one must be farther away from the pulse. Okay, back to sensor 1. So the red light was able to successfully get a pulse reading from my wrist using the sensor setup. Now I'll switch to the infrared light, which you won't be able to see. Actually, the camera might be able to. And we'll repeat that test again for the infrared. There's my pulse again. That's sensor output 1. Sensor 2 is much less. A faint one can be seen to none at all. Sensor 4. Sensor 5. It's a good reading. And then sensor 6 is an excellent reading. It's actually off in terms of magnitude. If you notice, all these are at the 10 millivolt range on the oscilloscope, so they're very small. At least the amplitude is in the 10 millivolt range. The actual voltages vary with the load, but the amplitude and the signal is what's important for our application. So that was, I was able to successfully get a reading with both red and IR light. So now we need to test the maximum current draw, and that would be with both LEDs on and all the sensors. And I've got the multimeter hooked up here showing the current draw for the entire system, and it's only 18.2 milliamps, whereas the maximum spec'd for the system was 50.2 milliamps. So this is well under what it was spec'd at for the maximum current. So this is a sensor block test. Passed. I have a pulse.